The first day of school was supposed to be a fresh start. For Lila Khan, it was supposed to be her chance to blend in, to quietly survive her senior year without drawing attention. She walked through the crowded hallway of Ridgewood High clutching her books tightly, her black hoodie pulled low over her face. New school, new faces, new beginning, or so she hoped, but life rarely works that way. As she crossed the main hallway toward her locker, a loud voice called out, "Hey, new girl! Watch where you're going." A shove came from behind. Her books scattered across the floor, pages fluttering like broken wings. Laughter echoed through the hallway. Standing over her were three students, the self-proclaimed royalty of Ridgewood: Tessa, Ryan, and Jake. They were known for two things, popularity and cruelty. Tessa, with her perfect curls and venomous smile, sneered, "Ah, did the poor little transfer student trip? Maybe next time you'll look before walking through our hallway." Ryan and Jake snickered, high-fiving each other like they'd just scored points in a game. Lila said nothing. She simply bent down, quietly picking up her books. Her silence only fueled their mockery. "What, cat got your tongue?" Ryan taunted. "Or do they not teach English wherever you're from?" That's when something flickered in Lila's eyes, something sharp, controlled, almost dangerous. But she swallowed it down and walked away. To the bullies, that silence meant weakness. To Lila, it was restraint. For the next few days, the bullying continued, whispers behind her back, cruel notes slipped into her locker, water poured on her seat before class. It was classic high school cruelty, the kind that fed off attention. And though some students pitied her, none dared to intervene. Tessa ruled through fear and followers. What they didn't know, what no one knew, was that Lila had come from a completely different world. Back in her previous town, she'd been top of her class, captain of her school's martial arts team, and one of the youngest students to ever receive a National Bravery Award. But she hadn't told anyone that. After her father's sudden passing, a former army officer who'd taught her discipline, courage, and control, Lila's mother moved her to Ridgewood, hoping for a calmer life. Lila had promised her mother she wouldn't fight again, but sometimes, life tests your promises. One rainy afternoon, Lila was leaving the school when she saw them again, the trio waiting by the parking lot. Tessa stood under her umbrella, smirking as Ryan and Jake stepped forward. "Running off again, new girl?" Ryan mocked. "You think ignoring us makes you better?" "I just don't think you're worth my time," Lila replied, voice calm but steady. That was enough to set them off. Ryan shoved her hard, too hard. She slipped, falling to the wet pavement. Her bag burst open, and a framed photo slid out, her and her father, both in martial arts uniforms, smiling proudly. Jake picked it up, chuckling. "What's this? Your boyfriend?" Lila's world froze for a second. Then, slowly, she stood up. Her hoodie dripped rainwater, her eyes locked on the photo in Jake's hand. When she spoke, her voice was low, not angry, but measured. "Put it down." Ryan laughed. "Or what? You'll cry again?" What happened next was a blur. Ryan reached out to shove her again, but Lila's hand snapped out, grabbing his wrist mid-motion. In one smooth movement, she twisted it, gently but firmly, just enough to make him gasp and stumble back. Jake lunged forward, but she sidestepped, using his momentum against him, sending him sprawling into a puddle. Tessa's umbrella clattered to the ground as she stared, stunned. Lila didn't punch. She didn't hurt them. She didn't need to, as she simply retrieved her photo, wiped it clean, and said quietly, "Never touch what isn't yours." Then she walked away, leaving the three of them standing there, soaked, humiliated, and silent. For once, word spread fast. The new girl who everyone thought was weak had taken down Ridgewood's bullies without breaking a sweat. But the story twisted rumors of her being some kind of secret fighter, a soldier's daughter, a trained warrior. Some said she could have broken Ryan's arm but chose not to. The bullies didn't show up for 2 days. When they did, something had changed. They didn't look at Lila the same way. They didn't talk the same way either. A week later, Tessa approached her after class. Lila tensed, expecting another round, but this time, there was no smirk. "Hey," Tessa said quietly. "I wanted to say sorry. For everything. We were out of line." Lila studied her face, searching for mockery, but found only sincerity and shame. She nodded. "It's okay. Just don't do it to anyone else." And from that day on, things began to shift. Tessa started speaking up when others were bullied. Ryan joined the school's volunteer group, and Jake, surprisingly, started learning martial arts from Lila's old coach. The hallway that once echoed with cruel laughter now carried something different: respect. Lila had changed the school, not with revenge or violence, but with strength guided by restraint. A few months later, at the school assembly, the principal announced a new anti-bullying program initiated by Tessa and Lila together. When they walked onto the stage side by side, the entire auditorium stood up in applause. Lila looked out at the cheering crowd, then up at the photo of her father pinned to her notebook. She smiled softly, whispering to herself, "I kept my promise, Dad." Because sometimes, the strongest people aren't the ones who fight back with fists, but the ones who choose compassion even when they've been hurt.